We roar from the jungle down to the four cardinal points of the world, because we have the boss's staff of authority. We are now the lifetime king on the throne, which started with the journey through thorns. We are the vision in the news and entertainment mission,
cause we are phenomenal,
making you a masterpiece. Boss FM 95.5.
Keep your A game, Abuja. Stay bossed.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
From nowhere, they say we came. Yet we saw the vision through conquest. We break barricades daily, fiercely and ferociously, walking into the storm, coming out on the other side like a gentle, cool breeze. We roar from the jungle down to the four cardinal points of the world, because we have the boss's staff of authority. We are now the lifetime king on the throne, which started with the journey through thorns. We are the vision in the news and entertainment mission,
cause we are phenomenal,
making you a masterpiece. Boss FM 95.5.
Keep your A game, Abuja. Stay bossed.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
From nowhere, they say we came. Yet we saw the vision through conquest. We break barricades daily, fiercely and ferociously, walking into the storm, coming out on the other side like a gentle, cool breeze. We roar from the jungle down to the four cardinal points of the world, because we have the boss's staff of authority. We are now the lifetime king on the throne, which started with the journey through thorns. We are the vision in the news and entertainment mission,
cause we are phenomenal,
making you a masterpiece. Boss FM 95.5.
Keep your A game, Abuja. Stay bossed.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
From nowhere, they say we came.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Udwak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, Arab calls for reduction in cost of governance as Nigeria faces recession. Still on the headlines, Senegal welcomes discussion with Spain on migration. Also on the headlines, Uganda's Bobby Wine vows to keep campaigning after deadly violence charges. And on sport, CAF President Ahmad banned for 5 years by FIFA. And now the news in details. Nigeria has recorded 155 new cases of COVID-19 in 12 states, bringing the total to 66,383 in 36 states of the country plus the FCT. According to the latest information released by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, 60 of the cases are in Lagos, 37 in Katsina, Kaduna 35, FCT 6, Ogun 4, Edo and Kwara each have 3 cases, Rivers and Kano have 2 cases each, Jigawa, Oyo and Taraba each have 1 case. 62,076 persons have been discharged, and the number of deaths is 1,167, so the number of active cases is 3,140. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, that is SERAP, says it has written to the President Muhammadu Buhari following Nigeria's second recession in 5 years. In its letter, SERAP urged the President to immediately reduce the cost of governance and implement bold transparency and accountability measures in a way that would be beneficial to all citizens. According to SERAP, this economic crisis provides an opportunity to prioritize access of poor and vulnerable Nigerians to basic socio-economic rights and to genuinely recommit to the fight against corruption. It also noted that implementing human rights, transparency and accountability measures would save money, address projected adverse human rights impact of the recession, and fast-track the economic recovery process. SERAP added that it is not too late to take urgent measures that would put the country's wealth and resources to work for the common good of every citizen, while hoping to see implementation of the recommended action within 14 days. In the meantime, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has said Tuesday sitting would be dedicated to paying tribute to a newspaper vendor, Ifeanyi Okereke, who died after being shot in Abuja by a security aide on Thursday. Gbajabiamila made this known when he paid a condolence visit to the Abuja Newspapers Vendors and Distributors Association in Abuja on Sunday. The speaker, who earlier confirmed the incident, said it was his usual habit to stop and exchange friendly pleasantries with the newspaper vendors at the corner of the National Assembly, as many of them have known him since he first moved to Abuja. While expressing sympathy to the family and the Abuja vendors, Gbajabiamila said he is personally distressed about the incidents and has suspended the security operative, Abdullahi M., from his convoy. Gbajabiamila, who described it as a horrible incident, said no family should have to go through such, adding that he has directed the Department of State Security to investigate the incidents. Meanwhile, the leaders of the newspaper distributors and vendors who had taken to the streets of Abuja said their protests were not targeted at the speaker, who had always identified with them, but to demand justice for the murdered member. Report has it that Gbajabiamila had on Saturday visited the family of the slain newspaper vendor at Okereke's family home in Kwata village in the Madala Suleja area of Niger State. And now to yet another story. Governor Bello Matawalle of Zamfara State, northwestern Nigeria, has received 11 kidnapped victims rescued in the state. Matawalle received the rescued kidnapped victims over the weekend at the government house in Gusau, the state capital. The Commissioner of Security and Home Affairs, Abubakar Mohammed Doran, said the victims, 10 males and a female from Bukuyum local government area, were released without paying a ransom. Doran said they were released as a result of the peace initiative and stakeholders meeting summoned by Governor Matawalle with all critical stakeholders from Bukuyum local government area on Thursday. While receiving the kidnapped victims, Governor Matawalle gave assurances that his administration will not rest on its oars until total peace is achieved in all parts of the state. The governor further said the peace accord and reconciliation process with repentant bandits will be sustained in the state, adding that those unrepentant ones will face the full wrath of the law. And now let's get to the fact that Labour leaders on Sunday night walked out of its scheduled meeting with the federal government, which was to take updates on the hikes in petrol pump price and the electricity tariff. The meeting, which was called to review the implementation of resolutions reached during the 3 previous parleys, ended abruptly barely 10 minutes into the meeting at the banquet hall of the presidential villa, Abuja. Those present at the meeting, which started at 8:18 p.m., included Nigeria Labour Congress, that is the NLC, President Ayuba Waba, its Trade Union Congress, that is TUC counterpart, Quadri Olaleye, and National Union of Electricity Employees, that is the NUEE, General Secretary Joe Ajero, among other union leaders. Reports say trouble started when Olaleye raised the issue of the latest hike in petrol pump price from 160 naira to 170 naira. While speaking at the meeting, the TUC president accused the government of insincerity, stating that the meeting must record progress, otherwise the labor leaders would walk out of the party, adding that they were beginning to lose confidence in the government. On his part, Ajero, the NLC deputy president, said the union had been under attacks over the slow pace of implementation of resolutions reached at the meetings with the government. But Labour and Employment Minister Chris Ngige assured that the issue would be discussed during the business session and asked the media to leave the hall, adding that their positions would be reflected in the communique that would be issued after the meeting. We move to other parts of Africa after this break. Stay. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to Burkina Faso, where vote count is now underway in Burkina Faso after Sunday's presidential and legislative elections held against the background of a tense security. President Roch Kabore is seeking a second 5-year term, campaigning on achievements such as free healthcare for children under the age of 5 and paving some of the red dirt roads that snake across the arid West African country. And now away from Burkina Faso to Ethiopia. The Ethiopian army warned of an imminent attack on Mekelle, capital of rebellious Tigray state and seat of the local government that the federal government is seeking to dislodge, calling on civilians to flee while there is still time. Speaking with government media, army spokesman Dejeni Sagaye said the next decisive battle is to surround Mekelle with tanks threatening to lay siege to the town, stronghold of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, that is the TPLF, that rules the region. Sagaye urged the city's 500,000 inhabitants to save themselves. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed had on November 4 announced the start of army operations against the TPLF, accusing them of seeking to destabilize the federal government and of attacking 2 Ethiopian military bases in the region. Meanwhile, Tigray authorities have admitted to attacking a federal army base, calling it preemptive action. On Saturday, the government claimed that the army was advancing towards Mekelle and had taken control of several towns, including Aksum and Adigrat, some 117 kilometers north of the regional capital. Now let's have you know that in Uganda, Uganda's opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine has reiterated his not to give up on campaign ahead of the country's January 14 presidential election. Wine made this known after his release on bail following violent clashes between security forces and his supporters that left at least 37 people dead, marking a violent start to the country's election season. He noted that he was violently arrested, tortured while in detention, threatened with death, but this did not break his resolve. While reiterating his commitment to Ugandans, he said no matter the situation, he will not abandon them on a journey they started together, adding that they must finish it together. Wine, a major challenger, is determined to put an end to the presidential race of President Yoweri Museveni, who is seeking an extension of his 36-year rule. 38-year-old Wine, a musician turned politician, was charged on Friday with infringing COVID-19 restrictions on large gatherings and is due to appear in court again on December 18. Police spokesman Fred Enanga, who addressed the press conference on Friday, said the protests were part of a loosely coordinated campaign and not spontaneous, adding that all indicators revealed they were not just impromptu actions. Enanga added that 375 people had so far been arrested. And now let's get to Senegal. As part of the Spanish government's diplomatic response to the steady build-up of migrant arrivals to the Canary Islands from West African countries, Spain's Foreign Minister Arantxa González Laya was in Senegal on Sunday. Laya met with Senegalese President Macky Sall to discuss migration and border cooperation between Spain, the European Union, and Senegal. The country has become a major point of migrant departures, even though it is around 950 miles, that is 1,500 kilometers away. More than 18,000 people fleeing poverty, violence, or other circumstances at home have arrived in the islands this year, a 1,000% increase from the same period in 2019, and over 500 have died in the attempt. Still to come, sports. Stay. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to sports, where Confederation of African Football, that is CAF, President Ahmad Ahmad has been banned for 5 years for financial misconduct by the FIFA Ethics Committee. A statement from FIFA said the vice president breached his duty of loyalty, offered gifts and other benefits, mismanaged funds and abused his position as the CAF president. The decision could disqualify him from standing for re-election as CAF president when the body holds its elections on March 12. Madagascar's Ahmad, who has also been fined $220,000, had been due to run for a second term as head of the CAF, but the decision from the FIFA Ethics Committee, which followed a 2-year investigation into his conduct in the role, is likely to ruin his bid, as it would have to pass an eligibility check to remain on the FIFA Council. He can appeal his ban to the Court of Arbitration for Sport once he has received the full grounds for the decision. Ahmad's first 4-year term as CAF president had been clouded by allegations of financial wrongdoing and other ethics breaches, prompting FIFA to launch a probe into his conduct. In a statement, FIFA had said the probe had found he had committed 4 breaches of the ethics code, duty of loyalty, offering or accepting gifts or other benefits, abuse of position and misappropriation of funds. To yet another sporting story, let's have you know that in another development, the Confederation of African Football, that is CAF, alongside other football federations across the continent, have sent their condolences to the Ivorian Football Federation, that is FIF, following the death of its president, Sidi Augustin Diallo. Diallo, who has been a leader in Ivorian football since the early 1990s, was confirmed dead on Saturday, 2 weeks after he tested positive for coronavirus. He was first elected the vice president of the FIF from 1991 to 1994, before he won the Ivorian FA presidency in 2011. During his tenure, he helped Ivory Coast win their second African Cup of Nations title in 2015, among other achievements, which include their qualification for the 2006 FIFA World Cup in Germany. To yet another sporting story, Serge Ibaka will leave the Toronto Raptors to join the Los Clippers. The Congolese-Spanish player signed a 2-year contract with $19 million. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that Sarab has called for reduction in cost of governance as Nigeria faces recession. We also told you Senegal welcomes discussion with Spain on migration. Also in the news earlier, Uganda's Bobi Wine vows to keep campaigning after deadly violence charges. And on sport, CAF President Ahmad has been banned for 5 years by FIFA. Remember to visit us on Facebook at LINKSTVI International, Instagram at LINKSTVI, Twitter at LINKSTVI. Our YouTube channel is at LINKSTVI International. I am Udwak Daniel. Thank you for watching.